こんにちは。今日はボッティチェリについて一緒に見ていきたいと思います。ボッティチェリはですね、春プリマベーラとか、そしてヴィーナス誕生で有名なんですけど、システィーナ礼拝堂の絵もですね、ボッティチェリ描いております。ということでね、ボッティチェリ見ていきたいと思います。はい。The powerful Medici family ruled over the Republic of Florence. Lorenzo, known as Lorenzo the Magnificent, was head of the family. His Tuscan city had almost 60,000 inhabitants. It was a wealthy trading center. Banks were founded and currency, the florin, was minted there. Lorenzo was a despot. He was a great patron of the arts and sponsor of new talent. He surrounded himself with artists such as painter Botticelli and later the young sculptor Michelangelo, who had the same tutor as Lorenzo's sons, the poet Angelo Poliziano. The art made Lorenzo seem more impressive and less of tyrant. It was a good way for him to strengthen his grip on the Florentine Republic. Throughout Europe, Renaissance scholars were rediscovering ancient Greek and Roman culture. They were fascinated by the literary and philosophical works of the time, which seemed to offer a way for man to reach spiritual perfection. The poets Petrarch and Boccaccio were the first to return to these classical ideas. A new school of thought was emerging with man at the center. It was known as humanism. The Greek philosopher Plato's theories on beauty influenced the arts. In his view, perfect beauty is attained not by copying reality, but by endearing it with ideal proportions. In 1459, Cosimo the Elder founded the Neoplatonic Florentine Academy. The director was Margillo Ficino, with other scholars such as Angelo Poliziano and Giovanni Pico della Mirandola. He recorded the ideas of the Canticchio of the Florentine Renaissance. Botticelli. Alessandro di Milaniano di Bani Filippi, known as Sandro Botticelli, was born on 1st March 1445 in Florence, Italy. He was the youngest of the four sons of a Florentine tanner. The family lived in the working class district of Borgo Ognissanti. One of the brothers was nicknamed Botticello, Little Barrel, as he was rather stocky. This nickname spread to all his brothers, even though Sandro was good-looking, tall, slim, and blonde. At around 13, Botticelli was apprenticed to a goldsmith aged 20. He joined the workshop of the painter and monk Lippi. There he met and worked with Palladio and Verrocchio, who would later be Leonardo da Vinci's master. Botticelli then opened his own workshop, which he shared with his brother Antonio, who had become a goldsmith. Botticelli followed the refined style of his master, Lippi, who used soft, clear lines. Thanks to his goldsmith training, Botticelli painted clear, precise outlines which seem chiseled. The shapes and colors are contained within them. Aged 24, Botticelli was already well known. Poliano had been given a commission to paint 7 panels representing the 7 virtues of the Catholic religion. To decorate the backs of the 7 judges' seats in Florence commercial court, Botticelli took on fortune, which he painted in a new way. The painting is masterful and elegant, radiating quiet strength. It was a great success. The 7 virtues: faith, charity, hope, justice, prudence, temperance, and fortitude. The Medici dynasty. The Medici was traders from Florence. Giovanni de' Medici founded the Medici Bank in 1397. Thanks to him, the wealthy family became the most influenced in the city. He was asked to form the government, the Signoria of Florence. His son Cosimo the Elder, exiled by rivals, returned to Florence and governed the Republic. In around 1475, a Florentine banker commissioned Botticelli to paint an Adoration of the Magi for the Church of Santa Maria Novella. In it, the painter showed the members of the Medici family and their household. Medal. Botticelli painted this portrait of a man with a medal of Cosimo the Elder. On the medal issued between 1465 and 1469 is written Magnus Cosmus Medici. The medal shows a picture in profile of the founder of the Medici dynasty, Cosimo as Peter Patley. Botticelli followed the pencil of Flemish paintings of that time. The portrait showed the man's head and shoulders in a three-counter view with his hands, and behind him a landscape, river, mountain, sky in perspective. Hans Memling worked in Brussels in the workshop of the famous painter Roger van de Velde. Before moving to Brugge, where he opened his own workshop, he painted many portraits in oils in his gentle, slim style. Simonetta. Simonetta from a noble, generous family. The Cattoli family was 15 when she married Marco Vespi. He was a cousin of Amerigo Vespi, the cartographer who gave his name to the New World, America. Simonetta was chosen as the Queen of Beauty in Florence and was known as La Bella Simonetta, or the Unparalleled One. Botticelli was very fond of her, but she died very young, probably from tuberculosis, aged 23, on 26 April 1476. Giovanni, in love with Simonetta, was assassinated aged 24, 2 years to the day after Simonetta's death. He died in an attack on the Medici by a rival family, the Pacci family, during a service in Florence Cathedral. This is known as the Pacci conspiracy. Lorenzo de' Medici, his elder brother, escaped the attack and had many conspirators executed. This portrait of Giovanni was painted the year of his death as a tribute to the young prince. For Botticelli, Simonetta was a model of ideal beauty. and she became his muse. He painted 2 portraits of the young woman and based himself on these in his mythological scenes, such as the famous Birth of Venus, which he finished 9 years after his mother's death. これはですね、ヴィーナス誕生、ボッティチェリの有名な作品ですけど、そこのですね、もうモデルが誰だったのかというふうな、そういうふうなのがよく話題になるので、そこに関して取り上げられてます。はい、次いきます。In 1478, a terrible plague epidemic swept through the city of Florence, causing many deaths. 3 years later, to give thanks for the end of the plague, Botticelli painted a large fresco of the announcements. It was to be placed at the entry to San Matteo, the plague Safi church at Santa Maria della Scala in Florence, which housed the orphans. Botticelli painted several annunciations. Here, the Argent Gabriel flies and appears to the Virgin Mary with a white lily in his hand. Greetings, you who are highly favored, and announced that she will have a son, Jesus. Mary bows to the will of God, with her hand on her heart. I am the Lord's servant. ボッティチェリもですね、レオナルド・ダ・ヴィンチとかですね、他の画家と同じようにですね、受胎告知というのを描いております。受胎告知は聖母マリアがですね、大天使ガブリエルによってあなたは神の子を身ごもったというふうな、そういうふうなシーンになってます。はい、で、This scene shows Botticelli's interest in crafts. With his rich interior of a nobleman's home, the architecture and reflect Italian Renaissance taste in Florence. Fringe rug, canopy hanging above Mary's head, pillar with sculpted decoration, floor in marble marquetry, sculpted headboard, canopy and pillow. はい。で、ボッティチェリもですね、このルネッサンスの時代というふうなことなんで、ルネッサンスって今までのそのルネッサンス前とやっぱ何が違うかって言ったら、人がですね、こうなんかあまり無表情じゃない、表情とか人間味があるように描かれてるっていうふうなところがあるんで、このボッティチェリのですね、受胎告知に関しても、マリアに関しても、そして大天使ガブリエルに関しても、結構人間味のある表情で描かれております。はい、次いきます。Portrait. Who is this young man? Nobody knows this young man's name. We see his head and shoulders, facing us, gazing at us. His brown eyes are shining. The color of his hair and tunic match the brown of his eyes. His eyes are very expressive. He seems to want to speak to us. The dark background brings out the well-lit face. Light is coming from the light. The young man is wearing a white shirt and black outfit and a brown tunic, edged with a thin strip of white fur tied at the neck. On his head he is wearing a dark red cap, worn by the wealthy middle classes in Florence at the time. はい、肖像画も描いてます。やっぱり有名なのは、まずなんだっけ、ヴィーナス誕生なんですけど、ヴィーナス誕生だけじゃなくて、システィナ礼拝堂のですね、壁の絵ですね、それ描いてるのも非常に有名です。システィナ礼拝堂ってミケランジェロの祭壇画と天井画が有名なんですけど、そこだけじゃなくてですね、そのいわゆるサイドというんですかね、横の壁にはですね、ボッティチェリとかですね、別の画家の作品もあるので、そこも結構見応えがあります。はい。In the summer of 1481, Botticelli visited Rome. Pope Sixtus IV wished to be reconciled after his involvement in the Pazzi conspiracy, With Lorenzo de' Medici, he invited Florentine artists to decorate a new chapel at the Vatican Palace, which would soon be known as the Sistine Chapel after the Pope's name. Botticelli and 3 other painters, Perugino, Cosimo Lorenzo, and Girolamo, divided up the walls of the chapel between them. The work was very well paid, but they had an almost impossible deadline. The artist painted portraits of his popes as well as biblical frescoes. With the help of assistants, Botticelli painted 3 frescoes, including the Trials of Moses. Look at Botticelli's fresco showing 7 episodes from the use of the prophet Moses in the yellow robe. All in one picture, find the dog and the tree with no leaves. でですね、やっぱりボッティチェリのこのシスティナ・レハイドの作品で有名なのはですね、モーセの生涯を描いた作品が特に有名です。これはですね、1枚の絵の中にですね、モーセがですね、7回、あるいは8回かな、8回出てくるような形で、たくさんのモーセが描かれております。7回かな。1、2、3、4、5、6、7ですね。7回出てきている、そういう風な絵を描いております。これね、当時はフレスコが描くときにですね、1枚の絵の中にいろんなシーンを描くという風なことをよくやってたので、同じ絵の中にですね、同じ人物が何回も出てくるなんていうのはよくあります。ちょっとね、知らなかったら意味不明な感じになるんですけど、なんか分身かなみたいな感じがするんですけど、単にですね、たくさんこう同じサイズの絵描くの大変なんで、1枚の絵にいろんな物語が入ってるっていうのはよくあります。はい。で、次いきます。At the time, Rome was still a medieval city. Bandits roamed the narrow, unpaved, dangerous streets where passers-by were often attacked. But you could see the beauty of ancient ruins. Botticelli, whose talent was not recognized in Rome, was disappointed and returned to Florence, where his father had just died, 1482. He decided not to leave the city again. In Florence, at the height of his career, he received many commissions. はい。でですね、モーセ、そのシスティーナ・礼拝堂のですね、モーセのボッティチェリによって書かれたものなんですけど、どんなシーンが描かれているのかっていうのを一緒にちょっと見ていきましょう。Moses brandished his sword to defend Helb. The wounded man is taken off and comforted by a woman. Moses flees Egypt. モーセがエジプトに行くとか、そういうふうなところも描かれております。Armed with a club, Moses chooses of the shepherds to protect Jethro's daughters, who are drawing water from a well. Moses takes off his shoes. God appears to Moses in burning bush. Moses leads his people to the promised land. はい、モーセがですね、人々を約束の地に導いていく、そんなシーンもこのシスティナ・レハイドの中のですね、モーセの生涯の絵の中に描かれております。本当いろんなシーンが描かれているので、これ、一つ一つですね、見ていって、こういう風なシーンがあったんだっていうのを知るとですね、結構こうモーセの生涯という風なのが理解できるかなと思います。というのもね、このルネッサンスとかの時代って、このローマじゃない、フィレンツェか、これはフィレンツェ、今イタリアですね、イタリアだけじゃなくてヨーロッパなんですけど、文字を読める人が少なかったんです。で、そういう風な中でですね、じゃあこの、聖書の中のですね、物語をどうやって伝えるかっていうと、本というよりは絵で伝えて、こういう風な物語があったんだよという風に伝えるという風なのが、手法だったんで、この絵で、非常にですね、共有すべき物語を共有していたという風な時代になります。はい、次いきます。今度ね、春プリマベーラでございます。これね、ボッティチェリの代表作。この春プリマベーラと、 ヴィーナス誕生かな。これが、ボッティチェリの作品の中では一番有名かなと思います。はい、では行きましょう。プリマヴェラ。This wonderful mythological scene was painted to celebrate the marriage of Lorenzo di Prefesco di Medici, Lorenzo's cousin, with Semilio Apino, Simonetta's cousin. It was hung in the Villa di Castello, near Florence. The panel celebrates the arrival of spring. Under the trees, Venus, just behind the other figures, is wearing sandals and elegantly draped in a red and blue cloak with a delicate gesture, like a Roman statue. She points to the three Venus. Here, Venus symbolizes humanity, incarnating all human qualities. Mercury, the messenger of the gods, with a red cloak and sword, guards the garden. He chases away the clouds with his staff. He ensures harmony. Nothing must cast a shadow over the entire spring. Mercury's attributes: helm of haze, staff of hearts, and laurel or olive wood, staffs topped with two wings, and wind with two serpents used for protection, winged sandals, symbol of the messenger. Uffizi galleries, Florence, Italy. The orange trees with their flowers and fruits refer to the garden of the Hesperides, where nymphs, the daughters of Atlas and Hesper, guard the golden apples dedicated to the goddess of beauty. Three graces dressed in floating transparent gauze are dancing in a circle with interlaced fingers. They raise and lower their arms as they dance with small graceful steps. They have braided hair studded with pearls. They represent beauty, virtue, and faithfulness. The god of love, Venus, soon flies above her. Blindfold, he's aiming and allows at the three places is love blind. Has a Roman stomach. Behind her is the myrtle bush. In the countryside near Florence, nearly 190 plant species bloom between March and May. Forget-me roots, high ancient cornflowers, camellia, roses, orange blossom, anemone, daisies. Flora is the goddess of spring. Is she an allegory of the city of Florence? Her dress is embroidered with flowers. She's sewing roses with one hand. She's draped in a garland of flowers. はい、ということでですね、ちょっとね、フィルムベアについて見ていきました。今日はこの辺で終わりです。お疲れ様でした。